Hi, in this video I'm going to be changing the ceiling light for an LED type fitting. Right, you might be wondering why I'm doing this job in the first place. These older light fittings, even with the LED globes, you see these are all LED. Here I've got Philips, I've tried Osram, I've tried different makes. They all seem to last less than 6 months. I find that the LEDs are actually less long lasting than fluorescent ones. So here, if you look at it, a lot of the light is lost into the back here. Yes, it is white and it's supposed to reflect, but then it's also got this glass cover which diffuses the light and actually reduces the brightness considerably. So if I swap it for one of these surface mount LED lights, this is a smaller one, you actually find when I measure with a lux meter that I'm getting more lumens from this type of fitting versus this type of fitting. Now, I've got a lot of these and I keep having to change these globes, so now I find that the surface mount is definitely more efficient and therefore they use less electricity. Just to put this into perspective, this is a 7 watt, so if I've got a 7 watt and a 7 watt and this is a 6 watt, this 6 watt is actually brighter than the 7 and the 7 after it's been diffused with this glass, and because the globes are faced, some of the light is lost to the back plate here. In the video I'll be installing this one. This is the biggest size and that is actually going to be much brighter than what I had with these two LED globes here. Now, just a comment, I know I did say that these LED globes do not last very long, but these particular light fittings and the LED built in like floodlights and things like that, I've noticed last at least 6 months and somewhat more. For example, I have some of these that are now 3 years old, while these LED globes, as I said, barely giving me 6 months. If you're interested to see the LED setup inside here, all it is it's a strip LED going around there. There's a glass, so obviously the light goes into the glass. You've got this white to reflect and then the back plate. So this is a very efficient design. Right, so make sure the circuit is off. If you want to be more safe, trip your main circuit breaker, your earth leakage. In that way, even the neutral will be offline. Right, so in this case, I just need to open these clips. The glass can come out. Right, so these are the wires from the ceiling. So you've got your black is your neutral, and the blue in this case happens to be live. Usually this would be red. Now I need to disconnect it from here. Now in this case, it's quite easy. All I have to do is press this like that, and I'm going to start with the earth. There we go. So I just pressed and pulled out. Now in your case it might be a terminal block like this where you have to unscrew to get the wire out. So I'll just take the earth, pull it one side. Now I'm going to take the neutral, and just for safety's sake, while I'm working on it, I'm just going to strap the neutral with some insulation tape. There we go. Now I'm going to take the live, there we go, and just strap it as well. Just cover it with the insulation tape. Right, so there are my live, neutral and earth, and now all I need to do is get this light fitting off the ceiling. Now in this case there's just 2 screws. 1, 2. Right, so just support it so that it doesn't fall out onto the ground. Now you've got to be careful here because you've got to thread these wires gently. Right, so I've taken the light fitting off and you can see it's left a bit of a dirty circle there, so I'll have to wipe that. Right, now something to be aware of, wires should not be loose in the ceiling like this. Wires should always be sealed. So you can see this isn't actually correct, so I have to actually tape these down. So I've actually taped it right to the electrical cable. You mustn't have loose wires in the ceiling. Rats and mice can bite them. Right, now the new fitting is going to go like that. So what I have to do is I have to just put this piece here, because this type of light requires you to put this bracket in, and then you screw in the surface mount light on the side there. It mates with the fitting like that. So it would go like that. There's a screw there and a screw on the other side. Now I'm just using a self-tapping screw. And I'm just making sure that it's equidistant. Right. Now what you'll notice is a lot of these type of LED lights don't have an earthing point. They just require 2 wires and there's no place to actually earth it. So it's up to you. Not all lights have an earth point. Personally, I like to earth it, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to file the back of this and wrap the earth around that screw. Right, so I filed it there, and also what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the screw to a galvanized one, or one that isn't painted. So I'm going to put the screw through there, then the earth wire on the filed section, and then I'm just going to screw that in. Now, since these wires are a bit too long, I'm just actually going to cut them. Now I'm going to fasten the lead driver to the live and the neutral of the light circuit. Now it is off. Now these don't really have a polarity, but some LED circuits actually do say positive, negative, by the way. I'm just taking the one of the writing as the positive, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap that like that. Now you could crimp this if you want. You don't have to use a terminal block. You can use a crimp. Alright, so all I need to do is now plug the DC jack in, because remember this converts the AC into DC, because LED is now using DC. All I'm going to do is just cover that with some insulation tape. In your case, you don't have to tie insulation tape around all of this, because you can just put it all into the light fitting. But because this hole is a bit big, I'm just going to put insulation tape here. Right, so now you just put this all inside the light. Just make sure nothing is pressing on the edge of the light when you put the screw in. Right, so I'm just going to tighten this. And now the other side. Now, very important, you don't always want a gap here. So when you tighten this, just make sure you press the surface mount light upwards. You see that gap. So if you don't want that gap, you've got to close it there and now tighten it. Right, and I'll switch it on now. And there you can see I've changed the regular light fitting to the surface mount LED fitting.